Hello students, myself Professor Savita Shendkar on behalf of Janta Junior College going to start the chapter Thermodynamics, Chemical Thermodynamics. As the thermodynamic is the word where the thermo means heat and the dynamic means the flow. So from this we can define the thermodynamic as the branch of science that deals with a transfer of heat. So but what is a heat? A heat is one of the form of energy. So from that we can define it as the branch of science that deals with transfer of energy to the other form of energy. But as we all know that there are different types of energies, that is kinetic energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, radiant energy, potential energy. These are different forms of energies. But the question arises that what is energy? The energy of a body is the capacity of a body to do work. So in thermodynamics we are studying the transfer of heat from one to another. But here again the amount of heat transfer in physical and chemical process is concerned. So the thermodynamic can also be defined as the quantitative relationship in between the different form of energy. As in chemistry, the physical and chemical processes are accompanied with energy changes. So we can define the thermodynamic as the thermodynamic is a branch of science that deals with the different form of energies, quantitative relationship between them, and the energy changes occur in physical and chemical processes. This is all about the concept that is thermodynamics. Then to learn more about the thermodynamics, we must know the basic concept which is related to thermodynamics, that are the system, surrounding and boundaries. Let us discuss one by one. The first of all, the system. A system is a part of universe under thermodynamic study is called as system. Then what is surrounding? The surrounding is the all other remaining part of universe outside the system is called as surrounding. That means the universe is divided into two parts, that is system plus surrounding. For example, we can explain it as the experiment performed in a laboratory. In that case, the actual chemical reaction carried out in a beaker is a system and all other thing around it is a surrounding. The one more basic thing has to be explained here, that is a boundary. So what is boundary? Here the boundary is a imaginary line in between the system and surrounding which separate them. As here we have seen that if it is a system, this is surrounding, then the system and surrounding is separated by a boundary. Thus, here again in detail we can see the types of boundaries. as there are four different types of boundaries. The first, the boundary may be real or imaginary. For example, if we have taken a closed container, then the boundary is real, and if we have taken a open container, then the boundary may be a imaginary. See here, it is open container containing imaginary boundary, and you can say the real boundary may be the also container. Then the second type of boundary is the rigid or flexible. See in this diagram, in first diagram, in this case the boundary is rigid, whereas in second container, which is closed with a movable piston, the boundary is flexible. The third and more important part or type of a boundary is diathermic. What is diathermic? Dia means both. Thermics means heat, both sides. That means the heat flows in both sides, that is from system to surrounding and surrounding to system. That is called as a diathermic boundary. The heat may be exchanged with surrounding. Then the fourth and very important type of boundary is adiabatic. What do you mean by adiabatic? The adiabatic boundary is a boundary in which heat cannot transfer from system to surrounding. So these are types of boundaries. Hope you understand. The types of boundaries are real or imaginary, rigid or flexible. It may be a diathermic, it may be a adiabatic. So these are the some basic concept of a thermodynamics, that is system, surrounding and boundaries. The next, it is a types of types of systems. There are main three types of systems. The first one is open system, second one is closed system, and third one is isolated system. Let us explain it one by one. The first one, that is open system. The system in which the matter and energy are exchanged with surrounding is called as open system. That means in this case the matter as well as energy is exchanged with surrounding. For example, take a beaker containing water which is open. In this case, the matter, water vapors are exchanged with surrounding, as well as the heat or energy is also exchanged with surrounding. So this system is called as open system. Then the next is a closed system. The system in which only energy can exchange with the surrounding but not matter. In this case, if we have taken a beaker containing water and close it by a lid, then the water vapors cannot escape from the beaker. That means it cannot exchange with surrounding, but the heat or a energy can exchange with a surrounding. So it is called as a closed system. In closed system, the boundary may be a rigid or flexible. Then the next type of system is isolated system. The isolated system is a system in which neither energy nor matter is exchanged with surrounding. That means the energy and matter is not transferred from system to surrounding or from surrounding to system. In this case, the container which is enclosed is made up of isolated material in which there is no exchange of energy as well as matter. The boundary in this case is a rigid and adiabatic. As we have discussed earlier, that the adiabatic boundary is a boundary in which the heat cannot exchange. So these are the types of systems: open, closed and isolated. Let us take an simple example of these three systems. Suppose a cup of tea which is open in first case. In second case, a cup of tea is closed with lid, and in third case, the tea is enclosed in a thermos flask. Open system. In first case, the system is open. Why? Because the heat as well as matter is exchanged with surrounding. In second case, a cup which is closed with lid. In this case, only the energy is transferred into the surrounding, not matter. In third case, that is tea enclosed in a thermos flask. In this case, neither energy nor matter is exchanged with surrounding. This is a very simple example of three open, closed and isolated systems. Hope you understand the types of system. Then the next point from this chapter is the properties of system. Actually, there are two types of properties of system, that is extensive property and intensive property. What are the extensive property? The extensive property are those which depend on amount of matter in the system is called as extensive property. And the second is intensive property. What are the intensive property? The intensive property are the properties which independent on amount of matter present in the system is called as intensive property. And the examples and more details we will see in next lecture. I will send the PDF file of this chapter. Download this PDF file and make your own notes so that we will be very simple to understand this chapter. Thank you, student. See you in the next lecture.